Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
I am specifically opposed to Xilism's LNG.
Why some BC First Nations are pushing back on the federal government's plan to fast-track an energy project off the waters of northern BC. Plus,
being attached to a hotel also may put us at risk if it's got sold or if there's any changes with the ownership.
Vancouver's mayor wants a proposed hotel in Mount Pleasant to be the location for BC's new Filipino cultural center. But some community groups are raising concern. And as extortion cases surge in Surrey, what more can be done to tackle the problem?
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hamilton, thanks for joining us. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced the Liberal government's latest set of major projects recommended for fast-tracking. It's a key component of the federal plan to spur major economic growth. Kate McKenna has the details from Ottawa.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says fast-tracking major projects can take Canada's economy from potential to powerhouse.
Let me talk a bit about those projects and what they're here for. They're here to reinforce our nation.
He's recommending another slate of initiatives to the Major Projects Office, hoping to boost private investment and cut red tape to get big things built faster.
That's because the world, U.S., is changing rapidly. And so we must change our strategy dramatically.
New projects include a transmission line and LNG project in British Columbia, a hydro project in Iqaluit, and critical mineral mines in Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick.
Today's announcement that the Sisson mine has been added to the major projects list as a project of national interest is a clear sign of the major role that New Brunswick can play in the Canadian economy.
Also on the list, a new corridor to build up infrastructure between northwest British Columbia and the Yukon, home to vast deposits of critical minerals.
It sends a signal to the federal bureaucracy. This is a priority.
All of this is part of a push to turbocharge the Canadian economy amid U.S. trade turmoil.
We're in a situation because of all these changes in the world that many of our historic strengths, based on close ties with the United States, have become our vulnerabilities.
We kind of had a lost decade where we really weren't focusing on the economy. So I think the government is headed in the right direction.
But work is already well underway for these projects, prompting questions about exactly what needs to be fast-tracked.
Our job is all about making sure that people get across the line, get everything they need to get built on time and on budget.
Having that referral to the MPO status, should again put us at the front of the line in terms of, working through specific permits.
So if the federal government gets out of the way, we can get these things done.
But the Conservatives have long said the better approach would be dropping regulations, slowing development in the first place.
The problem? Too much bureaucracy. Mark Carney's solution? Add another bureaucracy.
Now let's take a closer look at that LNG project being planned along the BC coast to export millions of tons of liquefied natural gas to Asia. Yasmin Khanea with why some Indigenous communities and environmentalists say it shouldn't go ahead.
It's a contentious plan not being welcomed by all.
I am specifically opposed to Xilism's LNG.
That's the multi-billion-dollar liquefied natural gas project Prime Minister Mark Carney is now recommending for fast-track approval.
LNG can help Canada build new trading relationships, especially in fast-growing markets.
A new generation of LNG production is on the horizon.
Xilism's LNG is a proposed floating facility in Nisga'a Nation territory in northwest British Columbia that would be capable of exporting 12 million tons of liquefied natural gas a year, mostly to Asia. The project is being developed in a partnership between the Nisga'a, Rockies LNG, and Western LNG, which is based in Houston, Texas, and is being challenged in court by two nearby Indigenous communities over environmental and land claim concerns.
We, as hereditary chiefs, We have a right to protect that. We have a right to protect the future.
Proponents of the project maintain it will be cleaner than other liquefaction plants because it will be largely powered by hydroelectricity. But some say it pushes Canada in the wrong direction.
I see this as a liability for our nation. It's not a nation-building project because this is a very risky project. We're expanding LNG capacity at the very time when the world is entering a glut, when renewables have become incredibly cheap.
This is the second BC LNG initiative to be referred to the Major Projects Office. It's also not the first time the federal government has been criticized for inadequate consultation with Indigenous groups, something Carney says is key.
There are many parties, and all of those parties have to be taken into account.
If approved, the project could begin operations in late 2028 or 2029 and aims to be net zero ready by the end of the decade. Yasmin Ghanea, CBC News, Vancouver.
With two of those projects in BC, Premier David Eby also weighed in.
These projects are on the major projects list because we will be that economic engine that Ottawa is looking for, that delivers consistent with the values of Canadians. But we're going to need to see some of that support coming back. I'm really glad to see them on the list and looking forward to the partnership we're going to enjoy together on these.
He says being included in the Major Projects Office provides these initiatives support with First Nations, funding, help with partnerships, and sends a signal to the federal government to prioritize these projects. Members of the BC General Employees Union have voted in favor of ratifying a tentative agreement reached with the province last month.
I think this is a historic win for working people in BC and across Canada. There was a lot of hard work, and fundamentally, this would not have been possible if our members hadn't been willing to, walk the picket line for 8 weeks.
The union says 89% of voters supported the deal, ending nearly 2 months of job action, which saw picket lines set up at government offices and BC liquor stores. The contract includes a 3% wage increase for all workers each year over the next 4 years. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim is pushing to build BC's new Filipino Cultural Centre below a proposed hotel in the Mount Pleasant neighbourhood. He will be taking the motion to City Council this month. But as Pinky Wong reports, some community groups say they won't support it.
Come on, here we go, don't be shy. A rally to build a Filipino cultural centre.
A cultural centre with language and cooking classes, performance and gallery space.
Their vision? A 500-room hotel above the Filipino Cultural Centre at 1940 Main Street.
For more than 40 years, the Filipino community has been asking for a cultural centre, and today we finally have an opportunity in front of us to help move that forward.
That plan is proposed by the newly formed Filipino Legacy Society and developer Port Living. The society chair says the group is founded with the sole aim to deliver a Filipino cultural centre.
The hotel will be part of what propels that cultural centre forward. The hotel will be contributing in perpetuity funds from their revenue to the operational costs of the cultural centre.
Mayor Ken Sim will be proposing the motion to Council on November 26th. Earlier this month, the federal budget proposed $51 billion to support new community infrastructure projects over the next 10 years. This comes after the Lapu-Lapu Day tragedy in April. Other community groups like Filipino BC has also called for a Filipino cultural centre in South Vancouver. The group says they are in the process of building a business proposal after consultation and feasibility work. In a statement, it says the team has asked the Filipino Legacy Society to address community concerns, including potential risks, as well as transparency around leadership and the consultation process. This group also shares similar concerns.
There's a lot of red flags that we find, and also we want to make sure that it's sustainable. Being attached to a hotel also may put us at risk if it's got sold.
In a statement, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts, Culture and Sports says no formal proposals have been submitted to the province at this time. Pinky Wong, CBC News, Vancouver.
Police are warning anyone using the road this time of year to be aware of their surroundings after 5 collisions in Burnaby over the last 48 hours involved pedestrians, cyclists, and scooters. RCMP say 3 of the 5 victims were sent to hospital with minor injuries, with most of the collisions happening in a crosswalk or bike lane. Police say dark and wet weather conditions contribute to more fatalities this time of year. The University of Toronto has released the names of 3 newly hired academics lured north from the U.S. as part of a plan to gain international brainpower. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson tells us who they are and why some Canadians say it's not all good news.
Another batch of star academics from the U.S. bound for major positions at the University of Toronto, including the man who will head up the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy, formerly the researcher behind Barack Obama's Affordable Care Act.
I've done, research on a broad set of things like healthcare, government programs like pensions, Social Security here in the U.S. It's known as, and crime and homelessness and, a bunch of defense procurement research that I think is relevant to some of the issues that are front and center right now in Canada.
The other 2 are Duggan's wife, Jacqueline Pless, an innovation and energy economics scholar, and astrophysicist Sarah Seeger, a Canadian who has worked at top U.S. institutions. U of T's new president says the hires are a key part of a long-term strategy.
They are the tops in their field right now, and they're going to be here leading our research, but educating our students.
This type of brain gain could happen a lot more if the proposed federal budget is passed. It earmarks $1.7 billion for Canadian institutions to attract top academics and researchers from around the world, a policy welcomed by some and questioned by others.
So right across the country, we're seeing academic staff in colleges and universities losing their jobs. Researchers don't have the support they need. So, while welcome, we think that a lot more needs to be done to stabilize the system that they'd be coming into.
As U of T unveiled its new international hires, it also announced a program to hire 100 postdoctoral fellows over 2 years and provide research funds. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
The weather update is brought to you by BC Cancer Foundation. Give today to bring more progress and possibilities to patients and their families. Your donation changes everything.
Darius Madavi joins us now with our BC-wide weather forecast. Darius?
I want to talk a little bit about the precipitation coming down, some showers and flurries making their way through the interior. And we do have a snowfall warning in place for Highway 3 to Kootenay Summit. There we can expect to see as much as 10 centimeters of snow tomorrow during the day, another 10-15 overnight into Saturday morning. So expect a bit of a difficult travel time if you're going to be heading over that highway over the weekend. Be ready for that. Other than that, we have started to clear up across the province. We'll continue to do that into tomorrow morning here on the south coast, but then more precipitation arrives starting in the north, making its way down south, reaching the lower mainland by tomorrow evening, and more snow starts to break into the interior as well, spreading more showers and flurries in there. Temperatures will fall tomorrow, or highs will fall. We've already seen pretty dramatic drops in temperature in places like the central interior, but that will return to normal over the weekend, actually quite a bit above normal. We've been a lot above normal recently, I should say. A little bit of rain going to continue to come down to the south as we get through Saturday and into Sunday. Here are our temperatures over the next few days. Now, after tomorrow's big drop, less dramatic as we head into the rest of the weekend. Conditions across the province tomorrow, many areas seeing some showers or flurries, very few places entirely dry, but dry during the day, wetter in the evening. And here's our 5-day forecast, Janella.
All right. Thanks so much, Darius.
Thank you.
This is a live look at the Surrey Arts Centre. At 6:30 tonight, CBC will bring together community members, business owners, police, and politicians to discuss the growing threat of extortion in BC's Lower Mainland. The town hall will be hosted by CBC's Stephen Quinn and Benit Braich. You can watch live on CBC television and our free CBC Gem app, as well as on CBC BC's Fast channel, YouTube, and TikTok, or listen on CBC Radio 1. The BC government has threatened to take over West Vancouver's housing policy if they don't approve more density by the end of the year, and the mayor seems ready to call the province's bluff. That story next. Tensions between the province and West Vancouver over orders to build more housing might soon turn into a full-on fight. A deadline is coming for the municipality to rezone some neighborhoods for more density, but as Justin McElroy reports, the mayor isn't backing down.
West Vancouver. It's actually north of the city of Vancouver. It has lots of expensive homes, and the mayor is gearing up for a big fight with the province.
Picking arbitrary dates, arbitrary numbers, and trying to force their vision on local communities is fundamentally wrong.
That is West Van Mayor Mark Sager. 6 months ago, the provincial government ordered West Van to allow more density in neighborhoods along Marine Drive by the end of the year. And the reason was simple. Here is a chart. Of the 10 municipalities the province put on its housing watch list 2 years ago, West Vancouver was nearly last in meeting its targets for new housing. And a plan to increase density in the Ambleside neighborhood has been stuck in a 3-3 tie on council for months.
We're not in a fight directly with the provincial government on a lot of this. We're actually in a fight between ourselves in terms of the politics here.
Nora Gambioli, the most pro-density councillor in West Vancouver, says it has always been reticent to build more homes, but they should accept the province's orders.
In my time on council, it's been super difficult to change anything in single-family neighborhoods. But having said that, if the province is just going to mandate it, then what choice do we have but to work on those details?
But Saker says West Van is approving new housing, including non-market rentals. He argues the province should give more time, change their target from new units to new approvals, and respect the role of local governments.
I'm not going to sign a bylaw as the mayor of this community to something that I fundamentally oppose to the process, how it gets there.
What could happen next? In a letter last month, Municipalities Minister Christine Boyle said the province planned to unilaterally approve increased density if West Van didn't move forward, and it seems she isn't backing down.
I don't want that to have to be necessary, but this December 31st date has been clear all along. And so if we get to the place where we need to override to implement these rules, I will feel confident that we have been clear in our communication and acted in good faith all the way along.
And if that happens, Sager thinks he'll have backup.
If I was standing alone without any of the other communities supporting us, I'd be concerned. But you will hear, you will see that all, with one exception, of the other mayors of Metro Vancouver are standing firmly with us. And that should be a very clear message to the province that this legislation is not popular, it's not working.
It's true that there are municipalities that have been critical of the province's housing targets, but none have been willing to risk confrontation, the types of which Sager seems to be angling for. Which means that if he ultimately calls the province's bluff, they'll have a decision to make, but so too will other municipalities deciding how much they wish to fight the provincial government. Justin McElroy, CBC News, West Vancouver.
In Nanaimo today, the Ministry of Social Development announced changes around disability benefits. Couples that receive disability assistance will no longer have payments clawed back. Instead, they will receive the allowance now as two single people. The first change is coming during the next payment period. The province says the change will add an average of $150 to $250 per check for more than 6,000 families across BC. While logs at the beach are a familiar sight, research from the University of Victoria has found drift logs washing ashore are causing damage to BC's coastlines.
Our concern was really all those little things that live in between the barnacles. And this is what, when a single log washes in, it literally, like sandpaper, it braids it right off.
Intertidal zones are facing the most destruction, which is the area of the coastline above water at low tide and underwater when the tide is high. Researchers found as a result of ecosystems being displaced, there is a decline in shorebird species that rely on the rocky areas for food. Shots fired at homes and businesses and a response from all levels of government. After the break, we'll hear more on the extortion crisis plaguing the Lower Mainland. RCMP say they are deploying additional resources to support extortion investigations in BC. As Mira Baines reports, the move comes after a South Surrey home was targeted with gunfire for the second time in 5 days.
Surrey police say no one was injured in the latest shooting at the mansion under construction in the 17,000 block of 32nd Avenue. It happened Wednesday night around 7:30.
It was at the same location where there had been a prior shooting on Saturday, so just 4 days apart.
The previous shooting led to a worker being injured. Police confirm this is the 44th shooting in the city related to extortion and its 95th case this year. Most of the cases target members of the South Asian community. McDonald says while they have spoken to more than 1,000 businesses, they also need the public's help to identify suspects.
When there's a strange vehicle driving around the neighborhood, or specifically after the event, what they see.
In this case, the home is owned by a Surrey business owner. His office says he declines to comment at this time. BCRCMP announced more officers will be deployed to support extortion suppression and enforcement. The head of criminal operations for BCRCMP says more officers will be doing targeted patrols, police stops, and intelligence gathering, and not just in Surrey. The force says they can't specify the number of officers. Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke has also called for an additional 150 officers from the RCMP and Combined Special Enforcement Unit to be temporarily deployed to her city. A Surrey Member of Parliament says efforts have been made to beef up provisions in the justice system, including bail and sentencing. But the global nature of the crimes has made investigations difficult.
I think really the challenge has been because it's transnational, because it's a lot of the calls are coming from overseas, is just catching the culprits in the first place.
Additional resources on the way and more being requested, all in an effort to reduce the shootings and get to the bottom of a crisis. Mira Baines, CBC News, Vancouver.
For more on the extortion crisis plaguing our province, we now head to Surrey, where we are about to go live from the Surrey Arts Centre for a town hall. We'll speak with community leaders, police, and politicians about their concerns and the potential solutions being put forward. That's coming up in a few moments. Stay with us.